On this week's show, we head to Madagascar for the 16th Summit for French-speaking countries. Then we're off to Nice to see how the Principality has shown support to the victims and the families of victims of the 14th of July attack. And we see the unveiling of the Fight AIDS Monaco memorial quilts on World AIDS Day. The 16th Summit for French-speaking countries just took place in Antananarivo. 2 years after travelling to Dakar, over 30 heads of state met in Madagascar to discuss the requirements for shared and responsible growth. It was a return to its roots for the international event, as the inaugural act for the creation of this French-speaking community was formulated in the Madagascan capital. Monaco is a member state, and as such, Minister of State Serge Tell was representing Prince Albert II at the summit.
Monaco, cette ville-État, a la même voix.
Monaco, a city-state, has the same power, the same capacity to convince, the same opportunity to act as the big French-speaking states of Canada, our neighbour France, and also Mali, Zaire and Vietnam.
Uniquement la France, qui est notre voisin, mais aussi le Mali, le Zaïre, le Vietnam. Et nous avons à l'intérieur.
We have our place within this great French-speaking family, and Monaco has had this place for 46 years now.
Ça fait 46 ans que Monaco tient cette place.
French is the second most taught language in the world, and over 270 million people are French speakers. In Antananarivo, the countries of the IOF agreed to work towards a fairer world where the values of spoken French can contribute to ensure the right conditions for world stability. The next summit will be held in 2 years in Armenia. The International Organization of Francophonie grew in Madagascar, and it now has 84 members, with 4 newcomers: New Caledonia as an associate member, and Ontario, Argentina and South Korea as observer members. During this official visit to Madagascar, the Minister of State, Serge Tell, was also able to discover some of the cooperation projects supported by the Principality of Monaco. There are long-standing links between the two countries. The International Cooperation Organization acts in 3 areas: health, food safety and the socio-economic insertion of those who are most vulnerable. In these pictures you can see a centre that takes in children who are living in the streets and looks after them until they start working. 71% of the population in Madagascar live below the poverty line. On the 14th of July, Nice was witness to an attack that killed 86 people and seriously injured many others. The Principality of Monaco immediately showed its support, and now, 6 months later, Prince Albert II met with the town's mayor, Philippe Pradal, as well as the president of the PACA region, Christian Estrosi, to hand over a cheque. The funds were raised during the Red Cross Gala, which took place last August. The money will be used to help victims and families of victims of the attack.
Je veux vraiment remercier tous ceux qui ont souhaité donner d'eux-mêmes.
I really want to thank all of those who helped, who are here in person or in thought, and in particular Prince Albert II, the sovereign prince, who immediately after this tragedy wanted to demonstrate his solidarity, and he has continued to show his commitment ever since.
Dès le premier instant, dès la première heure de cette tragédie, a souhaité nous témoigner sa solidarité qui, depuis, n'a cessé de s'impliquer lui-même.
After the ceremony, the Committee for the Memory of the Victims of the 14th of July 2016 and support to their families was officially introduced. It aims to look after the social, medical and psychological situation of the victims. It is always an emotional moment, a moment of remembrance for the victims of AIDS. 8 giant memorial quilts were unveiled recently at the Oceanographic Museum, pieces of material the size of a shroud on which drawings have been made, along with the name and date of those who passed away.
ça a une symbolique, voilà, parce qu'au départ de l'épidémie.
It's very symbolic because when we started to learn about the disease, those who died of AIDS were really treated like pariahs. Nobody wanted to bury them. Coffins were handed over to the families closed. This is a way to pay tribute to these people and to give them back their dignity and position.
Et de leur redonner leur dignité et leur place, voilà.
The names of those who had passed away were read out. They were members of Fight AIDS Monaco, Princess Stephanie's association that fights against AIDS. Everybody wore a red scarf, a symbol of the fight against AIDS. Time to go. See you next week.